Waves almost as tall as a 3-story building were raging in the North Sea, in German waters, on the 1st of January, 2019. They were rocking one of the largest container ships in the world like a toy. There were no human losses that night, but over 300 containers with cargo went missing. The strong tides took them all the way to the Dutch north coast. A team of salvagers on that side was looking for those shipping containers, but they found something they didn't expect to see. They were using sonar, that tech that sends sound waves through the water to make a picture of what's on the seafloor, and heard a loud, strange beep. They sent down a mechanical grab, and it came back with some timbers from an old shipwreck and almost 5 tons of its cargo, the copper plates. After studying the timbers, experts realized it was a 500-year-old Dutch ship that had sunk all the way back in the 16th century. This could be the oldest shipwreck found in the Dutch waters of the North Sea so far. It turned out that the ship was around 100 feet long. It was built in the 1540s, which was sort of a turning point in shipbuilding. Earlier ships were made using a method called clinker, where wooden planks overlapped like fish scales. But this ship was made using a newer style called carvel, where flat wooden planks were nailed to a wooden frame. It made the ship stronger and less likely to leak in big waves. This carvel method came from the Mediterranean and helped make larger ships for long journeys. The archaeologists think this ship was carrying copper from the Baltic Sea to Antwerp, a city that used to be part of the Netherlands but is now in Belgium when it sank. The copper on board might have been used to make some of the first copper coins in Europe. The stamps on the copper plates showed they were made by a rich German family. Tests showed the copper matched the coins first used in the Netherlands. It was an important moment in history, as copper replaced the expensive gold and silver coins or trading goods directly. The pieces of wood from the shipwreck were pulled up from the seafloor and are in great shape, with no damage from shipworms. Archaeologists plan to dive to the shipwreck to learn more. Another shipwreck of around the same age was found in the Baltic Sea, and it uncovered some important facts from the history of Denmark. Local divers first discovered it in the summer of 1971, but they had no idea it was something important and just took some lead balls they found nearby for fun. One of the divers told the local archaeologists about the shipwreck only 30 years later. He found some strange hollowed-out logs on the seafloor. They were carriages that once held cannons, so it was not a fishing boat or trading vessel, but a royal military ship that belonged to Danish King Hans. When they were exploring the spot, marine archaeologists found exotic spices like black pepper, cloves, ginger, and saffron that were used by the medieval elite. Bright red-orange saffron that still kept its color and even its smell after all this time underwater. The archaeologists collected samples from the shipwreck and identified 40 different species of plants, including fruits, vegetables, berries, nuts, and spices. Some of the spices were local, but cloves came from Indonesia and black pepper from southern India. They found all those seasonings near the back of the ship, where King Hans and his important guests stayed. So it was all for the elite. In the Middle Ages, spices like these were symbols of power and wealth because only the richest could afford them. The discovery proved that Nordic countries like Denmark were part of global trade networks and imported goods from distant lands. The cold water and low salt levels of the Baltic Sea kept the plant materials like seeds and even bits of peel and pulp intact for centuries. For the same reason, shipworms didn't eat away the wreck, and scientists can study it in detail. One more shipwreck, this time off the coast of Kenya, might be from Vasco da Gama's final voyage. He was a famous Portuguese explorer and the first European to reach India by sea around the Cape of Good Hope. Local fishermen discovered the shipwreck in question in 2013. When an underwater archaeologist came to check it out, he found some treasures at the spot: elephant tusks and valuable blocks of copper called ingots. The shipwreck is located about 1,600 feet from the shore and lies just 20 feet below the water surface. If this find really has to do with Vasco da Gama, then it is from 1524. It was the year of his third and final voyage to India. He got sick and never came back to Portugal. Da Gama led a huge fleet of 20 ships, one of which was the Sao Jorge. Most of the ship is hidden under layers of coral, and a whole team of scientists are carefully digging trenches to find parts of the wooden ship frame and hull. they still need to do a lot of research to find out if it's really the Sow's storeship. A team of researchers in New Jersey found the remains of a steamship that sank in 1856 off the coast of Massachusetts. The shipwreck is located about 200 miles away from its starting point at Fleet Marina in New Bedford, Massachusetts. The lost and found steamship had only been in service for less than 1 year before disaster struck. It was on its first return trip to France when it collided with another ship called the Adriatic. The Adriatic was damaged but managed to sail away, and our hero wasn't so lucky. The crash left a hole in its side, and after a few days, the ship sank. Only 18 out of 132 passengers survived. A member of the research team said they were confident they had found the missing ship after studying its location, sonar images, and measurements of the wreck. If you're into more ancient shipwrecks, how about the one from over 2,000 years ago? Sponge divers first found the Antikythera shipwreck in the Aegean Sea in the year 1900. Since then, scientists have been studying the site to figure out more about the ship's mysterious story and the people who were on board. The latest expedition in 2024 found about 300 new objects. There were 18 pieces of marble statues, including several marble fingers, a part of a palm, and fragments of clothing. Divers also found more than 200 ceramic fragments, including an oil lamp, a two-handled vase, and table pottery. Plus, they uncovered a previously unseen part of the ship's wooden hull. This section included wooden planks and copper pins that helped archaeologists figure out how the ship was built and which way it was facing when it sank. The most shocking find was the remains of another wooden ship found under the crushed cargo. In the same part of the world, off the coast of a tiny island, Kasos in Greece, researchers found not one, but 10 ancient shipwrecks. They believe one of them is over 5,000 years old. The team of underwater archaeologists used stories from Homer's Iliad as a guide to explore this area, and the project lasted 4 years. All the ships they found sank in different historical periods: the Hellenistic period, the Roman years, and the Byzantine period. There was also a more modern ship from the 20th century. The team found fascinating treasures near the wrecks, like a rare Spanish amphora with a seal on its handle, which is almost 2,000 years old. They also discovered some drinking vessels from Africa and a stone anchor from the Archaic period. The anchor is one of the oldest items found and shows how ancient sailors navigated the seas. The shipwrecks and artifacts were discovered at depths of 65 to 155 feet underwater, which is quite deep, but reachable for expert divers. Researchers took more than 20,000 underwater photos and used special equipment called side-scanning sonar to map the underwater landscape of the reef and find all the artifacts and shipwrecks.
That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the bright side.